Hello and welcome to your post-daily news update for Thursday, May the 26th. A happy birthday to my father today.
Ooh, happy birthday, Mr. Pollock.
Yes. I promise you he is not watching, but nonetheless, a happy birthday.
Has he
How are
seen
you doing?
any of your work ever?
Seen my work? I don't know. He's aware. He's aware of what we do.
Cool. Is
Yes.
he like what does he think of his son, being in this industry?
In this industry,
Journalism for professional wrestling.
I'll tell you, he was very excited when we launched this. He was like,
Yeah.
this is the dream. It's like this is the
He-
key. You
he
have
was
to
a-
you have to own your business.
He was a huge help for us in getting
He was.
started.
He was right at the beginning. Yes. So yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Pollock.
What's going on in your world today?
Well, we're my wife's got the day off, so we're going to be spending it taking some pictures.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is she like in awe of? Oh, so this is what you do during the day when I'm not here. You, of course, you're talking to John. What a surprise!
I don't know if she's amazed. I think she's well aware that this is what happens. She just doesn't. I don't think she cares. She just wants to know when I'll be done.
Can I ask, just to somewhat live vicariously through you,
Sure.
what is it like being in a house that's empty? What's that
Ooh.
like? Because I
guess
cannot
it's
share
co-
that feeling.
I mean, the
Ever.
comparison is pretty nice. It like because yeah, I don't. It's yeah, no, it's great. Like I'm sure there are things that I'm taking for granted right now that I don't realize. And just simply being able to have quiet. Yeah, that's probably a big deal. Are you don't get any quiet throughout your day? How about late at night, John?
Late at night is when I'm going to tell you a crazy story. That yeah, that's usually my time is when we finish a show or something, and I've got maybe an hour. So last night, I've always got like some movies just saved on my DVR. So last night we finished Dynamite. I went to sit down, and there's been a bunch of movies there that have been on there for over a month now that I've just been putting off watching. It's like, let's sit down, let's watch a movie. What do I feel like? And I had a few to choose from, and I chose Field of Dreams, the Kevin
Ooh.
Costner classic, featuring Ray Liotta as Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Wow,
And
you did,
today,
eh?
Ray Liotta died. Crazy coincidence that this movie's just been sitting there since mid-April. And last night, I just said, you know what? I feel like watching Field of Dreams. So I watched it. And yeah, he died. 67 years old. He was among my one of my favorite actors. I have not seen all of his work, but what I did, he was always one that I greatly enjoyed.
67 is pretty young.
Yeah.
Is there a cause of death that they've announced?
I think I just read that he died in his sleep, but I don't think they have a cause yet. Another crazy Ray Liotta story that me and my friends, we always bring up as just this crazy coincidence was the three of us went to go see Narc when it came out in 2002 that he's in. And there's a scene where he's going through these documents and he comes across one and it's dated November 23rd. I'm like, oh, it's my buddy's birthday that's sitting with us. And he goes through more of the documents and comes across September 2nd. Dude, it's my other friend's birthday, who's like my two friends who I'm sitting with. And he comes across two dates in this movie, and they're my friends' birthdays that I'm watching this movie with. What are the odds of that? That's crazy.
Almost next to impossible. Yeah. So that,
But only a coincidence, okay? We're not going into oh my gosh, what does that mean territory. I'm just saying it's a coincidence.
that Ray Liotta. What can you say?
Okay.
Yeah.
That is ways. Let's move on, Tone. So we are going to do that with what is coming up. Breaking news. We have a start time for AEW Rampage on Friday night. The St. Louis Blues won on Wednesday night. This is a Game 6 in the series with the Colorado Avalanche. So they will play on Friday night, meaning Rampage will start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and therefore airing live for those that are in attendance. It will be at 3:30 local time in Las Vegas at the Michelob Ultra Arena in Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point, I suppose if you're attending live, you pretty much know when you're supposed to be there. 3 o'clock Pacific time, and the rest of us, we don't have to necessarily just set our DVRs. We know an exact time to be in front of the TV now. 6:30 p.m. Okay.
That's
got
right.
it.
And then countdown show, hope for the best. Set your DVR. Overtime could mess that up sometime.
Watch the hockey, enjoy the hockey, and then watch the countdown.
That's right. Coming out of Wednesday's Dynamite, the latest updates for Double or Nothing, we're up to an 11-match card featuring one match on the pre-show, on the buy-in. But we have Samoa Joe, who defeated Kyle O'Reilly in the main event, so it will be Samoa Joe against Adam Cole. And then on the women's bracket, it is Dr. Britt Baker, who defeated Toni Storm, will face either Chris Statlander or Ruby Soho, who will face off on Friday's episode of Rampage. So how is this card looking, Wai, for Sunday?
It's looking like a very good card. I mean, I think there are a number of just really great matches. Maybe not as good of a card as Revolution was, but I think with the added incentive of seeing CM Punk go for the World Championship, that to me makes up for a lot of. Well, I mean, it's a great card otherwise too, but a
lot of your big names are in that Anarchy in the Arena match as well. Like they're kind of all folded into that 10-man. Like there's quite a lot of name value in that match.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, the idea that they might retain a sort of some of the novelty that Stadium Stampede included would be really interesting to me. I hope it's not just a straight up, arena brawl. Like knowing, I think this group, they'll have a lot of like little interesting vignettes or like planned spots at least, maybe even within the arena that I think will make the match a lot more memorable.
Does Jericho take a fireball?
Ooh, okay. Does he take a fireball? Very possible. Or does he give up multiple fireballs? Is he just going to be like, doing Hadokens, like nobody's business?
Yes. The Wizard of Foz. Chris Jericho.
Of Foz, yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm interested. It'll be really hot. I mean, it's Eddie Kingston. It's Jon Moxley.
It's a
Bryan
fireball.
Danielson.
It'll be very hot.
That will be, yes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the match, just given who is involved. I'm sure you'll have a lot of creative ideas, and I think this will be more than just a bloody brawl. I think there will be some creativity layered into the match. So, yes, it's looking like a good show with a big main event, and we will see how this performs on pay-per-view. And Game 7, potentially, if Miami wins and extends the series with Boston to Sunday night, will they get around Game 7? Do you feel that they are going a little too over and above? Is this a realistic concern that we should be altering our pay-per-view to accommodate this basketball game? Because I'm not convinced this is a big deal for the pay-per-view.
Me neither. I mean, I do think there's a crossover, but probably not enough to warrant them delaying the main event until the game is over. So
I don't see a wrestling audience as one that is trained to buy the show to watch the main event. It's sort of you're all in or you're not watching the show, and you're watching the entirety of the card, and not so of, okay, I'll order it and I'm just there for the main event like you would for another combat sport, for instance. I just think it's, and what are we talking about here? Like 170,000 buys. Like it is a small number in the grand scheme of things that I just don't know. And granted, Tony Khan said there wasn't going to be a lot of lag time, but this might be one where I don't know if there is this great conflict that might be perceived to be there.
It'd be one thing, I think, if, like last time we saw WWE do a show in Vegas or with the UFC on the same night, they
did not accommodate. They kept going, even though yes, it was under the impression they will be done before the Pacquiao fight. They did not have any concern about that, nor are we going to see that, I feel, on July 2nd between Money in the Bank and UFC 276. It's going to be two separate events going on, and I don't think there's going to be any concern for what their start and end times are for their main events.
True, yeah. Well, is the game on TNT or something? Like, is the game on a partner of Tony Khan's?
It's probably on TNT, if not ESPN.
Okay. Well, I mean, we know that Tony Khan is somebody who seems to be a lot more broad with his interests. He seems to be a lot more in tune with the sporting world. So maybe to him specifically, this is something that he would have been interested in, if not for the pay-per-view. And therefore, he thinks this is, extending a bit of a courtesy to people who feel the same way. I would be really curious to see how he handles the situation if it does go to a Game 7. And if we do get that delay, what can possibly be put in there as a buffer, potentially, if he has to actually delay.
I will say this, like, this is a promoter that to me seems to be like, I don't want to come across as like I genuinely believe that he is looking, number one, he wants his pay-per-view to be successful. That's the bottom line. But number two, I think he legitimately does have a fan's perspective in mind here, whether it's warranted or not. You saw the thing on Wednesday, too, about this policy that they were going to have where media were not going to be able to shoot these scrums afterward. And there was enough complaints about this that he just reversed course and said, okay, now you can film the scrums, which I would say if you were someone that has booked travel and been credentialed and all of a sudden days before you're told, oh, no recording, I'd probably be a little put off by that too if it wasn't, given proper notice of what I'm, earmarking a travel budget for and then is suddenly getting pulled away from. But nonetheless, they're going to allow that on Sunday. But curious to see if this is something that is slowly going to be removed in the future, that kind of post-show access that we have been used to for these AEW pay-per-views.
Well, what were they going to do if they weren't going to allow media sources to record? Were they going to record their own feed for release?
I mean, that's what they have put it out in the past on their own. So I don't know. We're not part of the credentialed media for this event, so I didn't get any specifics about what the actual breakdown was for that. But media will have the ability like they have in the past.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I believe there's a little call going on at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah. We can't speak about the competition, though, going head-to-head with us.
Oh, that's right.
Are they out of their mind? I mean, come on, Tony. You want to avoid the NBA, but not the post-daily news show?
We will have plenty of whatever news and notes that's coming out from that call tomorrow, right here in this space.
So this is an odd story that we're going to go over involving Game Changer Wrestling. So on Wednesday, there were accusations made by California-based promoter Mikey Gordon, who goes by the moniker Dirty Ron McDonald, making accusations that Brett Lauderdale of Game Changer Wrestling had gone through Gordon to secure fake, false, negative COVID-19 tests. And he posted alleged text exchange with Brett Lauderdale seeking out these negative COVID tests. Now, in the wake of it, also making other accusations and attacks towards Brett and Game Changer Wrestling. And since that time, many of a number of the GCW-based performers, including Tony Deppen, Joey Janela, Cole Radrick, Jordan Oliver, they have posted their own firsthand experiences and sharing exchanges where they have had Facebook groups essentially putting together the COVID tests and the protocol that GCW has had in place for these shows. In terms of an actual response from Brett Lauderdale, he was contacted by Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful and said that he's referred this matter to his lawyer and says, as much as I'd like to comment, I've been advised not to. So obviously, these are very heavy accusations that you are throwing at GCW and Brett Lauderdale, and certainly one that if it's not accurate, I would certainly be seeking legal remedy if I was being falsely accused of this. And we will see where this matter goes next, if there will be further comment on this. But obviously, these are, sizable accusations.
Very much so. Yeah. And as always, like when things like this just kind of come out on the internet, I mean, ultimately what it does is it creates just a wave of controversy and discussion. And I think a lot of jumping to conclusions without necessarily going through the regular process of, actually finding out what the truth might be. So it's very much right now just, I think, a war of public, image and hearsay, I will say. But you do have a lot of talents coming to Brett Lauderdale's defense here, GCW's defense. But if ultimately I think what gets lost or gained in some ways is PR, and it's not been very good PR this week, I would say, for GCW, between the ridiculousness of the foot super kick on fire spot to something a lot more serious, obviously, in this. But hopefully the truth will come out.
NXT ratings from Tuesday night, they were down 9% in viewers, 551,000 with a 0.13 in 18 to 49, so down from a .14 the week prior. So a small drop in 18 to 49. They did 33,000 viewers in Canada outside the top 10. They were going against the Golden State Warriors Dallas Mavericks game that did almost 6.2 million viewers on TNT, as well as the Carolina Rangers game. And they were up in women 18 to 49 after those terrible .05s that they did the last 2 weeks. They were up to a .09 this week. So that was a small increase that they had in that particular demographic, and finishing number 43 among cable originals on Tuesday. Young Rock finished off with back-to-back episodes, both doing just over 2.3 million viewers, a .43 for the first episode, a .45 for the second, where it culminated. I gave everyone plenty of time to go back and watch this, but Dwayne Johnson booked his own election defeat.
Oh, he lost. Okay.
He failed to become president of the United States in 2032.
So is that the end of the series? Like, isn't that the whole reason that, like, isn't that the whole reason for the series? Like,
no, because now he's at the same place in his wrestling career where the crowd has turned on him, and much like the late 90s classic Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping, he gets knocked down, but he gets up again. You're never going to keep him down.
Right. Okay, so again, it tells the story of The Rock in his childhood years, his teenage years, and his adult years, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we have like the four faces of Dewey.
Okay. Got it. And then so what does old Rock do now that he's failed the campaign?
That's a great question. He has to I guess he's got, many years to prepare to run again, or he's going to find out something new with his best buddy Randall Park.
Okay. Randall Park, right. All right. Well, keep us updated. I mean, that sounds fascinating.
I won't, because it's moving to Friday nights. I'm not going to be able to keep up with this on Friday nights. I don't need any more programming on Friday nights. Tonight, yeah. I would really like to see wrestling explore other nights of the week beyond Friday. That'd be wonderful.
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know either, but they're really pressing the limit for hours that night. Nikita Lyons posted an update after her injury took her out of the breakout tournament on Tuesday. She suffered a partial MCL tear and sprain, and no surgery required, and she's already begun rehab. So it doesn't sound like she'll be on the sidelines for too long after being replaced by Tiffany Stratton on Tuesday's episode in the breakout tournament. So we wish her a speedy recovery. Best of the Super Juniors went down on earlier today. It was their third consecutive event at Korakuen Hall. And I did catch the show today, so I was quickly just going to go through the results from today. The opener saw Master Wato defeat Teton. This was a great opener. I thought this was one of Master Wato's better matches I've seen from him in ages, winning with like a spiral tap off the top in 8:17, and then the two shook hands afterwards. TJP and Doki saw this incredible tope suicida by Doki onto TJP, who was seated on a chair on the floor. And the Doki Choki was countered by TJP with the Pinoy stretch and submitted him in 8:40. And Kevin Kelly throughout this tournament has been noting that Manny Pacquiao is back at home following TJP's Best of the Super Juniors run. I don't know if that's true. If Manny Pacquiao is a New Japan World subscriber.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows what he's into? I mean, yeah, I don't know. There aren't too many. Yeah, I can't say. Yeah.
Clark Connors versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. This was actually a quick match where Connors made this comeback with a power slam, spear, and then hit his finisher, the trophy kill, pinning Kanemaru in 4:52, and he's now won 3 in a row. And his next match will be against Taiji Ishimori, who's the junior heavyweight champion. That'll be on Saturday's show. Wei's favorite, I know this is the guy he's rooting for in this tournament, Alex Zane, taking on Ryusuke Taguchi. Kevin Kelly brought up that this is no joke. This guy eats Taco Bell 6 days a week, which I nearly vomited hearing that statement.
I mean, it's a variety of options you can get on the menu, but
when was the last time you ate at Taco Bell?
Probably last year.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ate at Taco Bell like this century.
Well, I mean, you've also never had a potato chip, so it's not that surprising.
Don't hate on my choices. You know what? You know what is one franchise that I've always railed against has been Subway. I've had multiple instances of food poisoning at that place, and John Oliver took that place down on Sunday.
I heard. What did he say about Subway?
What didn't he say about Subway? He spent 30 minutes on Subway, dude. It is I can't do it justice to recap it, but just the practices that they put on franchisees, how restrictive they are, and how much of your gross profits you have to give to Subway. Like, it's way above what you have to if you are a McDonald's, for instance. And it is, and you have honestly no rights. Like, UWay could spend it's a lower amount to start a franchise, but it comes with such restrictions wherein you could get a Subway franchise, and Subway could honestly open up a competitor, another Subway, right across the street from you. There's no like territorial or territory restriction for them either. And it's almost like impossible to get out of these contracts as well. And I mean, it's just, it's a brilliant breakdown of Subway that I don't know how you could ever want to eat there after watching this.
I look forward to watching it. So wait, so it's more so the business end. Like, does he go?
He also just destroys their food as well. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Don't try the tuna. So Alex Zane, who eats at Taco Bell 6 days a week, Taguchi at one point pulls down his tights, as he does in most of his matches with his underwear on. But this did not turn off Alex Zane. In fact, he opened his mouth and started to try and eat it. And that led to the cinnamon twist and Alex Zane winning in 6 minutes and 15 seconds. A Super Juniors classic. Francesco Akira defeated Yo with a fireball. Pretty standard fare in that match. Wheeler Yuta against El Lindemann. This was a very good match. Yuta using the cattle mutilation, and then he's been using the seatbelt clutch to win most of his matches. But this time, El Lindemann had a counter for it, going to a bridging German and then winning with a tiger suplex in 9 minutes and 18 seconds. I do hope that AEW starts to do some updates on Yuta. I mean, the tournament's going to be over next week. But I think that that's a cool story for Yuta, that, you know, he hasn't just disappeared. He's gone off to this tournament. And I know there's no time for anything on Dynamite every week, but I would hope that they do kind of bring everyone up to speed on where he's been. You can use the footage, obviously. So I think you should use that to your advantage, that he's off in this prestigious tournament representing the Blackpool Combat Club.
I have to imagine when the time comes when he does make his return, they will at least make mention of it. I don't think we've seen necessarily, AEW do recaps of other people's tournaments, but I imagine you'll get a promo.
Hey, Excalibur, we want you to go through all of Yuta's results from the tournament.
Yeah, break down every single night and all the block standings, in addition to all the plugs that you have to do anyway.
One of the big matches on the show today was Taiji Ishimori and Ace Austin. So this is your IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion against the TNA or Impact X Division Champion, and both were tied going into today's show. And Austin was able to hit his finisher, the fold, but his arm was injured, so he hesitated with the cover, and Ishimori got his foot onto the rope. He hit another fold, but it was countered with an inverted bloody cross, and the finish was designed to somewhat protect both guys, where Austin had a counter and used like a European clutch, and both of their shoulders down. The 3 count was registered, and Ace Austin was declared the winner, but this was done with controversy. Both their shoulders down, and each, I guess, claiming that the other was the winner. So an interesting finish there, and Austin now moves up to 10 points. So they have booked him very strong in this tournament, representing Impact Wrestling. Bushi versus El Desperado. This was another upset on the show, with Bushi winning with the MX after selling his knee throughout the match. There's probably nobody better at this point than Desperado when it comes to breaking down a body part to set up for his various finishers, whether it's numero dos or the multiple setups to the pinche loco. But Desperado has ascended to be like right alongside Hiromu as like the standouts in this junior heavyweight division, and he's having a very good tournament here. So the upset win after a Canadian Destroyer and MX by Bushi gets him up to 6 points. Hiromu Takahashi and Sho, on paper you would think this is just going to be blow the roof off the place, but it did not. It was a fine match, and Hiromu applied his triangle, the D, onto Hiromu, and Evil showed up and yanked the referee out. Hiromu then applied the D to Evil, allowing Sho to put on this metal shin pad and attack Hiromu's knee with the metal object, and then apply an inverted figure 4, and Hiromu immediately tapped out at 11:31. So Sho gets the 2 points, and Hiromu presumably moves forward with an injury from this metal object. Very controversial. Okay. And the main event, El Phantasmo and Robbie Eagles. They went almost 25 minutes. I believe this would be the longest match we have got in the tournament so far. Fantastic main event. Some highlights included Phantasmo scaling the top rope and then delivering a moonsault, landing on his feet on the floor. And the camera was done at this low angle on the floor, so that added to it. Looked very cool. And Phantasmo missed with a 450, and Eagles hit him with a burning hammer, which was a callback to a year ago when Phantasmo gave Eagles a burning hammer. And Eagles goes to the top to deliver Phantasmo's Thunder Kiss splash and nearly nosedived coming off. This was a very awkward dive from Eagles, but did land it. And then the knee of Phantasmo is compromised, and Eagles hits a 450 onto the knees, setting up the Ron Miller special and submitting him in 24-44. So a very strong main event. And after today's show, the A block is led by Ace Austin. He's got 10 points. Ishimori and Zayn have 8. And then Hiromu, Yo, Clark Connors, and Sho have 6 points. So those participants are all alive. Kanemaru and Francesco Akira are out, as is Taguchi. And the B block, Desperado, Phantasmo, and Lindemann, the L's, have been getting a lot of W's in this tournament. They have 8 points, tied for first. Eagles, Wheeler Yuta, Bushi, Doki, and TJP have 6 points each. They're in this. Master Wato is technically still alive at 4 points, but likely gone. And Teton is out with 2 points. So they'll continue Saturday and Sunday. They have a show Tuesday, and then the finals are next Friday at Budokan Hall.
What have been the top matches so far that you'd recommend?
I would certainly point to today's one with Phantasmo and Robbie Eagles. I thought they had a really great match. Francesco Akira and Alex Zane had a pretty nice opener the other day on Tuesday that stood out to me. I wouldn't say I've caught like 90% of the tournament. I've only missed Wednesday's show. I wouldn't say like there's one match that has just been blow away great, although today's main event might have been it. But the rest, like, it's all been solid wrestling. And so I would certainly seek out some of Yuta's matches. I think that Ace Austin is having a very good tournament. Desperado has looked very good in this. So like no one is stinking the joint out or not really holding up their end. So check out today's main event. I think you'd really enjoy that. And like the 10 matches, they go by very quickly on these shows. El Lindemann, he's been a nice outsider to have as part of the tournament as well. So I would say overall, like, this has been a very consistently good tournament without, I would say, like a ton of like match of the year contenders or anything like that, but very, very satisfying wrestling that you're getting consistently.
Cool.
And then Impact tonight. They have the main event with Josh Alexander and the Briscoes taking on Violent by Design. A battle of the futures, the former futures, Chris Sabin and Frankie Kazarian. That should be an interesting match. Masha Slamovich against Havoc. Jordan Grace takes on Chelsea Green. A Ultimate X qualifier between Alex Shelley and Trey Miguel. And then Raj Singh and Mahabali Shira taking on Bupindu Gurjar and W. Morrissey. That's on the main show. And before the Impact at 7:30 Eastern features Laredo Kid against Black Taurus.
Very cool. Okay.
There we have it. That is all that is going on in the wide world of professional wrestling. Way.
Before we get out of here, we got a couple super chats to get to, and the first one comes to us from Jamie Bradburn. Thank you for the support, Jamie. He says, can you think of a way of MJF winning and then Tony signing Wardlow to ROH as he runs through the heavyweight division until he gets the title?
Until there's something solid about Ring of Honor, I wouldn't be doing any storylines like that of, assigning people to Ring of Honor. I think, I just think there's so many question marks with Ring of Honor, and I think there's more questions now than when the company was bought. If they come out tomorrow and they've got a TV deal or some major streaming deal, great. Once you have a plan for Ring of Honor, you can start thinking this way. But as things stand now, no, I think like it just seems to be. I don't know. I don't know how this thing is going to work out beyond like the tape library in terms of where things go.
Yeah, I don't think they need to be sort of playing these games of, him losing and then signing to ROH. I think that just kind of delays it when I think the audience is really more than ready now for Wardlow to come out the victor in this entire storyline with a proper contract. I think the big pop at the end of all of this is get that, Wardlow is all elite graphic. Getting a huge reaction. They might even put that up on the screen.
That would be a huge pop in the arena if that graphic comes up at the end.
Yeah.
And like you've built Wardlow to such a huge level on AEW. Why would I take him to a lower platform of Ring of Honor? Like he is now a prime player on AEW that you've spent all this time building up to, and now you're ready to pull the trigger with him after this MJF program. Yeah, I wouldn't be assigning him elsewhere, even if ROH had something in play.
It's an interesting thought, though, Jamie. Thank you again. Let's go up next to at Itasb1, who sends $10. Thank you very much for the support. He says, I'm a teacher, #school's out, so this is my first live chat. If he hasn't used one before, I'm hoping Pollock will try using a keyboard cover for his spills.
All right.
Keyboard cover?
Do you have a keyboard cover?
I have like a silicone one, but I never use it. No.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Thank you for the tip. Very obviously common problem.
It happens. Any others?
That's it.
All right. Yeah. Did you want to quickly mention the Owen Hart Foundation?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So thank you everybody for your super chats yesterday. We've just got our tallied yesterday. So I think we ended up doing about $323 after fees here through our super chats, and we've decided to top it up, of course, doubling and then just topping it up to a $700 donation for the Owen Hart Foundation. So thank you everybody for all your support. I mean, just achieving that in a very short amount of time. So if you didn't get a chance to watch the stream, and if you still want to give something to the Owen Hart Foundation, go to owenhartfoundation.org/donate, and you can make a direct donation there.
Yeah, and the Martha will be there on Sunday at Double or Nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
All right. That's going to wrap things up. You can check out Bushby and Thompson's Wrestling Adventure. Bushby and Fan's Wrestling Adventure today, as Rich Fan is joining Martin Bushby to go back to 2016 to review Rev Pro's Global War show with New Japan featuring the Battle of the Dogs. Tomohiro Ishii and Butch.
That is correct, yeah. Also headlined by Katsuyori Shibata and Chris Hero. So if you've seen that show, or if you just want to hear some guys, like very knowledgeable people, talk about a really great Rev Pro and New Japan show from 2016, check that out.
Yes, always great to hear from Rich Fan. Wai and I will be back. We'll be live Friday with the news update, and then Friday night, Rewind to SmackDown at 10 Eastern for members at postwrestlingcafe.com. So you can tune in 10 Eastern with reviews of Rampage and SmackDown, and then we're live Sunday, minutes after Double or Nothing, to give you a whole review of that card from Las Vegas and taking your calls. So looking forward to all of that. You can check out postwrestling.com for Andrew Thompson's updates, and we'll speak with you on Friday.